flashback here to part one and highlight some of the nice bulls that we've already seen up to this point. First one here was a beautiful 21 point, nice big long points. We would have took this one, but at the time we thought it was only 19, and first trip of the year we definitely didn't want to go under 20, which was our goal. And again here with this one, same thing. We didn't really get a good enough look to see how many points he had and what he looked like. We knew he was big, but unfortunately we didn't realise just how big he was till he was heading away. And we did finish out the day looking for him, but unfortunately we didn't find him after. As you can see, we were greeted with the owl this morning. I was surprised that the camera could pick it up. As you can see when I zoom out here, it was still dark. Calm and cold. Just getting daylight, cow and calf swimming across the pond. Big bull up there in the hill. I thought I heard splashing. I just figured maybe a moose around the edge of the pond or something. I've seen thousands of moose in my life. I've seen them up probably to their belly in water before. Never ever have I seen them swimming. I've seen caribou swim before, but first time for moose. We spotted a nice bull way up in the valley, so off we went. We could see 4 bulls from right here. This small one was coming for a call. One up in the field there, about 16 points. And there was 2 small bulls up to the far right, as you'll see here, that was having a little fight. It wasn't much of a fight, it was only just playing around. Remember that little bull that was coming for the cow? Well, he was still coming while this was going on. For some reason, this was all the footage that I took of him. I would shuffle my feet around a little bit just to get a little bit more comfortable stance, and panned up to the bull up in the field, and never really did get much of this one. This wasn't something we were planning to shoot, so we were gonna head in and get a better look at the big one we had seen in the valley. We passed the line by them 2 bulls that were sparring earlier. They almost looked like identical twins. But when we got into where we'd seen that big bull, we walked right up on top of him. He was there with a couple of cows, and we started calling to him, and he just looked at us, and eventually, as you'll see here, he just decided to bed down right in front of us. Bed down. He just lay down. One side was, it was a nice paddle, but it was probably 9 points on it. And the other side had a crook in it, and I think it was only 8. So, yeah, not something we were looking for. We were just getting close enough to get a good look at the next bull that we seen here, and a chopper flew over. We figured that was going to be the last we were going to see him. He didn't run away, but we determined that, again, it just wasn't what we were looking for. He had about 18-20 points, but he was just small rack and narrow spread. Not a real huge moose. Good genetics, I guess you could say. Said I didn't know why I hadn't took more footage of that bull earlier in the morning. Well, I get another chance. He fell for the calls again on the way back. Notice how I said we were going to be in a perfect spot for daylight? Well, we had no idea just how rough it was going to be. Well, the sun was just rising and we were nowhere near where we wanted to be. I had a beautiful hike this morning. Well, it took us about 2 hours to get from down there. After battling through all that thick stuff coming up through there, we figured, well, can't possibly get any worse. But the worst was yet to come. When we got here, we just figured we'd be able to swing up around the right side of this rock here. When we got to the base of it, there was actually a big notch running down through there. And it was straight cliff, just like the rock face there. So we had no other choice but go up to the left, and boy, I tell you, it wasn't fun. When we got up there though, boy, it was worth it. We spotted a monster right away. Watched this bull for a while, and he had a huge rack, but Still didn't look like he had 20 points. Of course, we were too far to tell. But man, he had an awful spread and nice big boards too. Just didn't look like he had the points. But he was back on here. Man, look at the distance between the antlers. He turned his attention to this cow and started following her around for a bit, so we just decided we were going to watch him and wait for him to bed down before we made a move. He's down. We quickly made a plan and started our stock. We managed to close the distance to a couple hundred yards. We were in position. We could have took him, but after watching him for a while and getting a good look, he only had 17 or 18 points. But man, I don't know. He should have shot, and still, I think just for the spread alone, I'd say it was, geez, it'd be at least 55 inches. Widest one I've ever seen by a long shot. But there was a lot of things we were considering too. We were so far in that logging it out today was out of the question. And it was close to 20 degrees still at this point early in the season. So we would have probably had to fly in and get them in a helicopter. So it wasn't just the fact that we didn't want him. There was a lot of things that we thought about before we decided to pass up on him. But I think if I had my time back, he wouldn't have lived another day. I think we'll just write this one off as a learning experience. Never pass up on the first day what you'd shoot on the last day. Not much else happened for the rest of the day, although we did run into these caribou on the way back out. Always nice to see. Well, up at this point in our fall, which was, middle October, towards the end of October, we had no luck at all with calling, and didn't seem like much rut activity that we actually witnessed. Now, you could see the signs, like scrapes and rut holes, stuff like that. But it had to be going on in the nighttime because we just weren't seeing it. But on this day, that all changed. We got this one to come in. Just check it out.
as you could see, we had lots of time to take this one if we wanted them, but it was actually, we already passed this one up an earlier trip there. Same one, I think, 18 points, nice rack, but I mean, just not something that we wanted to take. Well, I'm gonna end this one off with some nice footage I got of these caribou here on the beach. And if you want to see if we can fill our tags, like, subscribe, and follow along.